Everybody, and welcome to the Presque City Council meeting for Wednesday, August 6th, 2025. Would you care to join me for the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We have 6 out of 6 available counselors available this evening. All right.
That was strange.
So I can do that all night?
You have to ask Eric.
Okay. All right, we're going to get this evening started with a presentation for a recognition of accreditation, Maine Law Enforcement Accreditation Program for the Presque Police Department. Is this working? Great. Recognizing the accreditation of the Presque Police Department by the Maine Law Enforcement Accreditation Program. Whereas the City of Presque recognizes the vital role that law enforcement plays in maintaining public safety, upholding the rule of law, and fostering trust within our community. And whereas the Maine Law Enforcement Accreditation Program, administered by the Maine Chiefs of Police Association, establishes professional standards and best practices for police departments across the state of Maine. And whereas the Presque Police Department has demonstrated its commitment to excellence, accountability, and continuous improvement by successfully completing the rigorous MLEAP accreditation process. And whereas this accreditation reflects the department's adherence to policies and practices that ensure the highest standards of integrity, transparency, officer training, and community engagement. And whereas the women and men of the Presque Police Department, under the leadership of Chief Christopher Hayes, have worked diligently to meet and exceed the program's requirements, earning trust and admiration of the community they serve. Now therefore, be it proclaimed that the City of Presque, Maine, on behalf of its citizens, formally recognizes and commends the Presque Police Department for achieving accreditation through the Maine Law Enforcement Accreditation Program, and thanks to the department for its continued commitment to the highest ideals of public service. In witness whereof we have hereunto set our hands and caused the seal of the City of Presque to be affixed on this 6th day of August 2025. Thank you, Chris. Sure. Lower left, lower right, does it matter?
I'll just do it right there.
All right. Just like that. Sure.
Congratulations.
Thanks, Sean. And Chief Hayes, your crew would like to take a moment to have the podium. And I got something for you.
This.
Thanks, Scott.
So aside from what Chief Willis has to present, the department itself got together and put together an award specifically for Chief Hayes as a thank you and congratulations for the award.
Thank you guys. All right. Good evening. I'll see if I can make some sense of MLEAP for you. My name is Jim Willis. I'm here tonight representing the Maine Chiefs of Police Association. I was a police chief for 20 years down on Mount Desert Island. Worked for another 16 or so at the Sheriff's Department down there prior to that. I retired 2 years ago, and I now work for a company called Dirigo Safety. The Maine Chiefs of Police Association contracts with Dirigo Safety to have us run the program for them. While I was police chief, about 10 years ago, I was president of the association, and fortunate enough to work with a group of people that created our accreditation program. At the time, and still, the mission of the Maine Chiefs Association is to promote professionalism within law enforcement and to make better connections so that we all are doing the best professional job we can do for our citizens. And back then, the association's main role was to come in when things were on fire. An agency may be having problems with staff or within the community, and those are generally less than positive times, and often ended with people leaving their jobs and kind of had a real negative connotation to it. So the leadership of the Maine Chiefs at the time said, how do we get that going the other way so we help keep people out of trouble? And that's where accreditation came from. We worked for about 5 years having monthly meetings at Augusta PD. There was about 12 of us, the director of the academy, colonel of the state police, just a whole multitude of people from within the profession. And we came up with what's turned into around 168 standards. Those standards are divided into 12 chapters. An example of one could be evidence. And how do you run an evidence room the best way we think you should and still be able to afford it. Another one was court security. Not many agencies in Maine are doing that anymore, so like you're exempt from that one. Administrative records, we take a look at all your internal investigation reports, complaints against officers, use of force reports, soup to nuts. I noticed in the back of your council packet is the report that was created. And how it works is when an agency is ready to be accredited, they apply to our program, and I solicit assessors. And that is all done in kind. Nobody charges anybody any money. That's how we chose to keep it affordable. All the chiefs in the state agreed that we would do that to help each other, to make the profession better. So your 3 assessors were from Farmington PD, Ellsworth PD, and Lincoln PD. Much of the work is done remotely because we're looking at your policies and procedures and signatures and training records. We can do that without having to come to Presque. But finally, there is an on-site visit where we come to the PD. We require full access. We have the chief unlock all the locked drawers. And we do go into the evidence room. We do samplings of evidence. We check your records. And I don't know that I've ever gone through one assessment that went perfect the first time. And usually there's a few things to tidy up, and we wait for that to be done and come back. And I got to tell you, I don't know that I've seen a department respond as well as Presque Isle PD did. There were a couple of issues encountered midway, and within a week, there was an officer from the Presque Isle Police Department in the office of the assessor in Ellsworth figuring out how to get it right. And when we came back, I will tell you the assessors were speechless because it was more than right. It was perfect. So well done, Chief.
Super.
And your crew, it is an all hands on deck sort of thing for sure. I think we wrapped up in May. It takes a while for our reports to go and us to get on your agenda. That's why we're here tonight. So once you get accredited, the Maine Chiefs Association provides a plaque. And I came here tonight to present Chief Hayes and the agency here with your plaques. So, Chief, congratulations. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you very much, guys. That's great. That's great. All right, moving along. We have another presentation this evening. With us, we have County Administrator Ryan Pelletier, who is going to present an update on county activity and the City-County Summit. Ryan, it's your turn.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It's been a few years since I've been here in front of the City Council. Some new faces, so it's good to come back and meet everybody. With me tonight is Commissioner Paul Underwood. Paul lives here in Presque Isle, and he represents District 2 on the County Commission Board. He's also the chair of the County Commissioners. This PowerPoint that I hope you all got a copy of it. Did they get a copy of it? Okay, you'll get a copy after. It's very lengthy, and so I mean, this usually takes me about an hour to do this on a good night. Because I've included a lot of specific data for Presque, it would probably take me an hour and a half if I did every single slide in great detail. So I know we don't want to be here that long. So I'm going to skip over some of the basic stuff, but highlight a little bit of everything until we get to the nuts and bolts of Presque, if that's okay with all of you.
Great.
Next slide, please. And I want to thank the IT guy here for helping me out. He's going to be advancing the slides, so you're going to hear me say that as we go. Just quickly, county government and the role of the county commissioners in our governmental structure. The commissioners are the chief elected officials ultimately responsible for county operations. You can think of them very similar to like your own role as a city council. They're elected, larger geographic region, obviously, that they serve than just a municipality. But they are elected. They are the policy determining board. And something on this slide that I wanted to highlight for you that's tied closely to municipal government is tax abatement appeals and hearings on maintenance of town roads. Those are two functions in state law that are required of the commissioners. So if you don't have a board of assessment review, which I don't believe Presque does, but if a person feels aggrieved by their assessment, they appeal it to the town, ask for an abatement. If the town denies that abatement, the property owner has the right to appeal that to the commissioners. Again, unless you have a board of assessment. Oh, you do. So then we're out of the picture for you guys, because then your board of assessment review fills that role, and then they can apply to the Superior Court for a judgment. You're only one of two communities in Aroostook County that have a board of assessment review. So we don't do a lot of those. We probably do 2 or 3 a year. The maintenance of town roads one, very rare. I think we've probably only done 2 in the last 25 years, maybe. That's when a group of citizens feel that their town road is not being properly maintained to town standard. They can petition. I think it's 3 residents of the community can petition the commissioners to hold a hearing on the town road issue. Next slide. A couple other things that I just want to highlight. Again, the board is the policy body for the county. They appoint the county administrator, confirm department heads, create and abolish advisory boards, participate in the budget process. So things that you're very familiar with in your own roles. Next. This is our Board of County Commissioners. As I mentioned, Paul is the chairman. He represents District 2. Paul was elected in 2000. He's currently serving in his 7th term. Commissioner Dobbins out of Holton was elected in 2022 and is serving his 1st term. And Commissioner DeVoe in the Northern District 3, Sear Plantation, was elected just this past November. He's serving his 1st term as well. What's really interesting about our current board is I believe we're the only board in the state where all 3 county commissioners come from a background of local government. Paul served as city councilor here in Presque. Commissioner Dobbins served as a selectman in the town of Hodgson when he lived there. And Commissioner DeVoe, up until his election and swearing in January, served on the board in his community. So they all come from that local government background. I do as well. My previous work, I have 14 years of experience as a town manager in 3 different communities here in the county. Next slide. A lot of talk right now about reapportionment out of Texas. We don't have that problem here. We in Maine do the reapportionment every 10 years. And the way it works is just the same way as the legislative districts in Maine are reapportioned. The only difference is the county actually offers a plan to the state committee on reapportionment. It does have to follow some rules about contiguous communities as well as public roads, so you can't like go around a township to pick up another town. We do the best we can with that. The population numbers have to be about equal. There is a little bit of deviation that's allowed under the law, but you can see there where Commissioner Underwood's district is the smallest in geography, but it has roughly the same population as all of the northern and the southern. We have to snake up along the eastern border to get enough residents as part of that district. Next slide. A little different thing about county government compared to local government is quite a few of our department heads are elected themselves, so I just wanted to include a slide about that. The sheriff obviously is the one that most folks think about when they think about an elected county official, but so is the district attorney. The difference between the district attorney that I wanted to highlight here is the DA, once they are elected, even though they're elected by the voters of the county, they automatically become a state employee. So they're not, your county taxes don't fund the DA salary and benefits and that sort of thing, nor does county taxes pay for any of the assistant district attorneys that are assigned to Aroostook. I think we have 6 right now, assistant district attorneys. However, the law that made that change in the 70s does require counties to pay for all the ancillary expenses of running the DA's office. So all the support staff, paralegals, victim witness advocates, travel, training, equipment, computers that the DA's office uses also is paid for by the county. Next slide. The other group of elected officials that we don't always think about, registry of deeds. We have 2 deeds here in Aroostook County, the only county in Maine to have that. Also, the treasurer of Aroostook County is elected, as well as the judge of probate and the registrar of probate. Both the treasurer position and the judge of probate position are considered part-time positions. Next. And then you have the appointed. County administrator is appointed by the board, and then the rest of them are confirmed. We currently have 8 direct reports right now to the county administrator. However, the 2 on the far end of that org chart are temporary appointments. The one on the far right is the ARPA administrator. I'm going to touch on ARPA a little bit. That was a term position just for the term of the administration of that program. It ends next year. And then the new jail facilitator position is one that's going to begin in January and end when the voters of Aroostook either approve or deny a new jail. Next. Finance Committee, I wanted to highlight this because our Finance Committee, similar to the Commissioner districts, are apportioned based on population. There are 3 finance areas within each district, so we have 9 Finance Committee members. What makes us stand out here is we are the only county, because of our charter, that requires the Finance Committee to be elected by popular vote. So commissioners don't get to appoint these people. They are elected. They have to take out nomination papers just like you do and run on a ballot in the communities that they represent. First county in Maine to adopt a charter. Now 5 of the counties have charters. We're also the first county to hire an administrator or manager. Now 15 of the 16 counties have someone in this position. Next slide is those areas for the Finance Committee. Because of your size and Caribou's size, you are an area all by yourself. So you have a representative that runs for the Finance Committee that actually lives in your community. You see the other areas, Area 4, I believe. Area 4, which is the Mapleton, Ashland, and then the unorganized territories, Washburn probably. Those make up the other area of this district here, and so it's a larger size because of the population again. Next slide. This is your Finance Committee. Here in Presque, Don Spike Savage is the representative. His term expires in 2026, and those are the other ones. What I like about this slide is it highlights the geography of the Finance Committee. I have all the way from Cary Plantation all the way up to Madawaska that serve. Also the size of communities. We have our 2 largest communities in Aroostook County on the Finance Committee, i.e. the 2 largest taxpayers of Aroostook County taxes, but we also have an unorganized territory that's represented, a lot of smaller and mid-sized communities. So it's a good mix of individuals and backgrounds that make up our Finance Committee. Next slide. This is the county budget by department. I just wanted to highlight where the budget breaks down. You can see here that between that big blue and the brownish color, that is your sheriff's office. The 64% of the budget is the sheriff's office. Of that, 55% is the Aroostook County Jail. Number 2 on the list is facilities. So all of the buildings that the county owns, the courthouses, EMA building, the jail, jail building, the sheriff's office building, all the cost of running those buildings, heat, electricity, staff, everything in there makes up about 10% of our budget. And then the rest are between from 2% up to 6% by department. Next slide. I get questioned often, why can't we pay our county taxes some other way based on usage, based on what we have for services that you're duplicating, that sort of thing. This is your answer. It's state law. Not opposed to anybody trying to change the law, but when I'm asked that question, I always like to let them know that the current law is that county taxes have to be apportioned on your state valuation, and that's the only option we have. It also spells out that the due date for that is in September, and interest on that on those taxes can only begin 60 days after they're committed, which in our case would be November 1st. I'm not gonna, next slide please. I don't want to go through all of the slides that I have, but what I do want to do is when you get this packet, I want you to pay attention to this one here. Our county budget is a line item budget, so it's broken down literally by every position except for unionized positions, but every non-union position, the cost of each department, line by line. For illustration purposes and for this PowerPoint, what I've done is I've combined it into our 3 cost centers. So each slide that you're going to see here, personnel costs, that includes the salary and benefits for that department, including the insurance, retirement, FICA if applicable, workers' comp, performance bonus if applicable. And then contractual costs is really anything that we may have a contract with or that we have a regular occurring bill, like electricity, sewer, water, travel, training, dues, computer systems, all the things that really run a department that are not personnel related. And then last is commodities, and those things include postage and office supplies, books and periodicals. Next slide. Administration, that would be the commissioner's office and my office. That's the total budget for that office, and that includes 6 full-time and 4 part-time elected. The treasurer, which I had mentioned is part-time, is included in this budget as well. And then contractual costs is about $99,000 and commodities is $5,300. Next slide. These are the things that county administration is responsible for: executing contracts, developing the budget. The county administrator by law also serves as the county clerk and purchasing agent. So what that means is the commissioners, although we have departments heads that are elected, the commissioners control the purse strings on the budget. So every invoice, every bill, every contract that, say, the sheriff's department wants to enter into, it has to be approved by the commissioners, and the bills and invoices have to be paid through our office. We also have, next slide, we also have human resources in the administrative budget. The HR director is an appointed position, supports the employees with recruitment, our personnel records, employee labor relations, compensation, performance management, any in-house training that's required of government employees. That's handled by our HR office. County government employs a total of 107 full-time, 2 part-time, and 68 on-call. And there are 2 bargaining units in Aroostook County that represent the majority of the employees. That's all in the sheriff's office. We have one unit that represents the correction workers and dispatchers, and the other unit that represents the deputies. Next slide. The other division within administration is the county treasurer and finance department. We do have an elected part-time treasurer, but we do have a full-time appointed finance director. Our finance director is then deputized by the treasurer to act as the deputy treasurer, so signing checks and things like that. Finance office oversees payroll, payroll, accounts payable, collection of county taxes. We administer a lot of grant funds, not only for our own purposes, but Aroostook County is written into the state CDBG block grant. We administer a statewide program for the small business development centers in Maine. So all of the SBDCs, the one here at Northern Maine Development, but also 5 other ones, have to draw their funds down through Aroostook County. And then also the finance office prepares monthly financial reports for the commissioners' meetings and a quarterly report that is presented to the commissioners at their meeting. obviously takes care of the audit, working with our auditor, and any single audits that are required in our annual report. Next. One thing that we really strive for at the county is transparency. So everything that we have, we post online. Our audits are there. Our budgets going all the way back several years are there. Any contract over $10,000 has a place on our website, so you can see that, including our labor contracts. Those are on there. Our county charter, a historical of the county tax for every municipality going back, I think, 25 years. And then anything related to the finance committee is also online. Next slide. The DA's budget, similar kind of budget in size as the administration. A few more employees there. We have 9 full-time employees in that department. Again, those are not the DA or the ADA. Those are the support staff. We have 3 DA offices in Aroostook County, one in Caribou, one here in Presque, and one in Holton. The one in Holton, the one in Caribou are in our buildings. The one here in Presque, we rent the space in the district court building over by Riverside. And so we have ADAs that work in all 3 of those buildings and support staff that work in all 3 of those buildings. So why is the contractual for this budget so much higher than admin? Again, it's because by law, we are also providing the support services for the DA and ADA. Including their IT support, which is a computerized program that's managed through the Attorney General's office that all 8 prosecutorial districts are required to pay into. And commodities are a little higher here too for the same reason, but also the DA's office, and you'll see this in the probate budget as well, they also have to pay the annual subscription fees for the statute law updates, the red books, if you will, the case law material. And so that's a little bit pricey. And it's a part of their budget. Next slide. Just a few things the DA does. Prosecutes criminals. So if somebody commits a crime, ultimately it's the DA's office that decides if that person is going to be brought to trial based on the evidence presented. Misdemeanor and traffic cases go to the district court. And we're allowed to charge for any rent in the district court space. So we have district court in Holton in our building and in Caribou. We charge for that. District Court here is a standalone building, so it's the state's. Felonies go to Superior Court, and by law, we're not allowed to charge for rent in the Superior Court space, so that is provided through the county tax. Cases involving crimes committed by people under 18 go to Juvie Court. Next, probate. Smaller budget. We have 3 full-time folks there, 2 part-time, including the judge of probate. 1 part-time, which is the judge of probate. Contractual expenses are a little high in this department compared to the size, and that's because every probate court in Maine has to have what's called a public administrator. That person is independently appointed by the governor. Currently, that person is Frank Bemis, who serves in that role. And what that person's role is, and I'm not saying this is what he's paid. He's only paid as he uses that, but it's part of the contractual budget. But if someone passes away and doesn't have any family and there's no personal representative, the public administrator steps in and serves as the decedent's representative to decide on where assets get divided up. And so that's part of the role of the public administrator. Other things that are high in that line for contractual is all the notices have to be published in the paper, and ad space is expensive. Next slide. Other things that the probate court does, this is probably hard for you to see, adoptions, guardianships, conservatorships, name changes, support enforcement, and trusts. And also, like I said, when someone passes away, if they have no will, no family, the probate court steps in and handles a lot of that as well. Next, the registry of deeds. We have 2 registries, but for this illustration or presentation, I combined them so that's one budget here, but we do maintain 2 separate budgets. Total budget is $632. Personnel for 5 full-time people is $514, and then high here on contractual, but I highlighted here, $88,400 is the deed software. All of the deeds from 1960 to present are online. So imagine, if you will, having to go to the registry every time you need to research a deed. Lawyers, surveyors, banks, title companies, they all use the online system because recording a deed and then accessing that deed when they need to, you'd have to travel to Holton or Holton or Fort Kent. Not saying that it doesn't still happen, because sometimes they have to go further back than 1960, but to clear title, it's 40 years, I believe. And when the system was established, 1960 was 40 years ago. Next slide. Just a few things that the registry does. Obviously, I talked about the deeds, but any instrument that you want to record with a permanent status, survey plans, divorce decrees, just to name a few things, anything really that wants to be protected in perpetuity. Next slide is our facilities budget. That's total budget is $1.4 million. We have 7 buildings that the county owns and maintains. What I did on this slide is the 1.4 includes all of the folks that work in this department, 6 full-time and 2 part-time people. But if you look down in the breakdown, 4 of those positions are budgeted in the Holton Building Complex. The Holton Building Complex is the oversight, if you will, of all of the buildings in Holton, including the Superior Court building, the Sheriff's Office building, and the jail. And then in Caribou, we have 2 full-time and 1 part-time person there. And the Registry of Deeds, 1 part-time, and then the jail building is broken out. We also have the jail garage as one of the buildings that is maintained. I didn't have it on the list. Next slide, just a breakdown of what facilities do. Basically all the maintenance, upkeep, janitorial, custodial, carpentry, HVAC systems, everything that you can imagine running a building takes. That's what our facilities staff does. Next slide. The IT department, we have 1 full-time person that oversees our IT, and the rest of the work is all contractual for our wide area network, servers, email, website, and maintenance. Next slide. Just what IT, I mean, I think it's self-explanatory, but manages the county's IT infrastructure, including our website, our email, and our phone systems, and also supports the IT needs of every county department from Fort Kent to Holton, including the control room at the jail, the dispatch computer systems, and the Registry of Deeds software. I put this next slide. Emergency Management Agency, total budget here is $299,000. I do have an asterisk next to personnel. We have 4 full-time people that work over at EMA, but a portion of the salaries of both the director and deputy are actually budgeted in the unorganized territory budget, because we have a unique situation where we have a volunteer on-call fire department up in the North Lakes region that covers Madawaska Lake, Cross Lake, Square Lake, and Sinclair. And our EMA director and deputy director serve as the chief and deputy chief of that department. So a portion of their salary is covered by the unorganized territory budget, which is not part of the county tax. Next slide. EMA provides a lot of emergency preparedness, obviously, for natural disasters, a lot of training for municipalities, works closely with fire departments, EMS. Next slide, please. That highlights a lot more of what else they do. We have mobile generators that we give out to local sheltering as needed. As I mentioned, the training. Also for elected officials that need the required NIMS training, EMA provides that at no charge. Any equipment, such as communications equipment. If something happens here in Presque and your local EMA folks need help, we bring in a mobile unit and set up shop. If you remember the flood up in Fort Kent back in 2008, EMA basically ran that whole operation up there when that was all going on. We also have hazardous material response teams in Aroostook County in case a truck spills something or a train derails or something like that. It's the EMA office that provides the training to local fire departments for that at no cost. We have 3 hazmat teams around the county that can be called on when needed. Next slide. The capital budget, the county holds no debt. We're debt-free. It's very difficult for a county to borrow money. I think under statute, the most a county can borrow is up to $100,000. So we have to capitalize everything. And I don't take credit for this. My predecessors did an excellent job of building a capital improvement plan out 15 years, and we've just kept it rolling. But some of the funds that are used for the capital reserve is vehicles, equipment, building maintenance, our Spillman contract, which I'm going to talk about a little bit. We also budget for the PSAP. All 911 landline calls are answered by Penobscot County and then routed out to the appropriate dispatch centers. The county covers that cost for all the municipalities. Fire marshal office, we give out $8,800 in the budget for that. That goes back to all local fire departments for fire prevention. And then other things that you're probably familiar with, annual audits, unemployment insurance, outside agency requests, property and vehicle insurance, dues to the MCCA, GASB 75. I think Presque's probably over the number for that, but essentially any government employer over a certain number has to have a GASB 75 performed. Our health insurance, our health trust does that, but all of the employers have to participate in paying for that, and it's $5,500 for us. And then legal, labor negotiations, advertising, and employee recognition round out this budget. Next slide. That's the overview of expenses pretty much. And so what this slide is the revenue budget. Obviously, we don't only get county taxes to operate the funds. This is a breakdown of each department and where the funds come from. The MDEA contract, for example, is $344,000. Deeds and probate revenue is around $650,000. Biggest portion is the jail funding, $1.4 million in community corrections, and then about $75,000 in jail support. Which works out to about 20% of the total jail budget is covered by state revenues. Next slide. I don't know how long all of you have been on council, but back in 21, under the Build Back Bipartisan Infrastructure Bill, I can't remember the name of the actual terminology, but the American Rescue Plan Act came into existence, and every county in the country received an allocation of ARPA dollars. Every municipality in the country received an allocation of ARPA dollars. For Aroostook County, we received about $13 million. And real quickly, the county realized that a lot of these funds were meant for boots on the ground infrastructure development. A lot of counties, I will tell you, in this state and across the country, kept all their ARPA money and spent it on their own. We did not do that. We proposed a partnership with the municipalities. Here in Aroostook, we had 40 some of our 65 towns agree to this, including the city of Presque. Basically, what we offered was 2% of your ARPA dollars matched into our $6 million that we're going to give out. We'd hire an ARPA administrator to manage this fund and create a grant program for municipalities and nonprofits that participate in the program. So that was a little over $6 million that we gave out. Really happy to present tonight that you guys took the prize on the most amount of money awarded out of that program. About 22% of the total allocation came back into the city of Presque. You have, like I said, you have the highest dollar amount award. And the city itself here received $493,000, almost $494,000 for wastewater, HVAC, and emergency equipment purchases. Utility district received $425,000 for wastewater infrastructure. And then your nonprofits here applied for funding. Aroostook Agency on Aging, Ignite Presque, and I think ACAP all received a little bit of funds for different projects that they had going. And so the total was $1.3 million that came back to the city of Presque and the nonprofits in Presque. Next slide. I'm getting to the good part, I swear. Sheriff's Office, just wanted to quickly break out here the different divisions of the Sheriff's Office. Administration includes the sheriff and deputy, chief deputy, the commander, and admin. That's 4 full-time staff. Our patrol division is 18 full-time staff. Corrections division is the largest, 32 full-time. We're responsible to house up to 117 inmates, and we are designed in a building that's supposed to house 66. And then support services are the transport folks that move our inmates around, and the dispatch center that not only dispatches for us, but through contract also dispatches for 1 local police department, 4 ambulance departments, and 14 of our local fire departments. Next slide. This is the total for law enforcement and patrol. It's $4.7 million. It does not include the main drug enforcement agency. We have 3 sponsored agents at the MDEA in Aroostook County, and that's a total cost of $344,800, and we receive 100% reimbursement back from the state for those 3 agents. Next slide. the jail. I'm going to stop here real quickly. I used AI to generate the pictures that you've seen throughout my presentation. And when I got to this one, it's an old gas station. I thought, well, that's kind of weird. Like, where are they pulling that from? And I tried changing it, and they just would not allow me to change it. So I either was going to go with nothing or keep it. And then I thought, you know what? Kind of makes sense. The jail's old, and we run out of gas. So it kind of fits, so I left it. The jail is the biggest cost for the Aroostook County taxpayer. It's $6.3 million. 4.2 of that is in personnel. And then the other two big ticket items that I think a lot of people aren't even always aware of is when you become incarcerated, you become the responsibility of the county or state that you're incarcerated under. And you have to provide medical care to inmates, medical, substance use care, mental health, what have you. That has climbed substantially. I started here 8 years ago, and it was costing us just under $500,000 to provide inmate medical, and you see the number there now. It's almost $1.2 million. Food services is another big ticket, $543,000 to feed the 120 or so folks that we have there, 3 meals a day. When you break that down by meal over the course of a year, it's a little under $4 a meal. So it's not bad on the per meal cost, but still, it's a substantial amount when you look at our overall budget. And then the other items are contractual, commodities, and capital outlay. Boarding is something we never used to budget for. A couple of years ago, we found ourselves in a situation where our licenses for 117, we had about 150 people incarcerated in Aroostook County. We can't house that many people legally, so we have to board. And so that year alone, I think we spent almost $80,000 boarding out to other facilities. And so we started a capital program after that year to start putting some money away in case that ever happens again. So one of the big questions, next slide please. One of the big questions I always get, especially from communities that have their own local police department is, I'm paying county taxes, I'm funding the sheriff's office, and it's double dipping my taxpayers. So what I try to do here is outline specifically of our budget, how much is truly rural patrol costs and what that percentage of the county budget is for your community. The total rural patrol cost here in Aroostook is $2.7 million. And that's about 15% of the county budget. So that's the number I'm working off of as I explain the rest of these slides. Next slide. Even though you have a police department, our sheriff's office works with all the local police departments, obviously, because that's what we need to do. So I wanted to just give you a little snapshot of some of the time that the sheriff's office has spent here in Presque over the last couple of years. In 2023, there were 357 incident cards generated by the Sheriff's Office for Presque Isle. 194 of those are just routine traffic stops. So when our deputies are rolling through and someone's violating a motor vehicle law, they're getting pulled over by the Sheriff's Office. That happened almost 200 times. 58 are agency assists, and those agencies can be your own police department asking for backup. It can also be Border Patrol, State Police, or any other agency that needs help. 8 citizen assists, 32 details, 12 trespass, 7 writs of possession. So that's like serving papers when a lawyer's office needs to serve papers or a landlord needs to serve papers to evict somebody. And then 46 all other. In 24, the number has dropped significantly down to 203. You can see 61 traffic stops, 59 agency assists, 10 trespass, so on and so forth. Why is the number dropping? It could be a variety of things. I gave this presentation over in Fort Fairfield a few month or so ago. It's because they've ramped up their police department over the last couple of years. In our case, we've actually lost deputies, and we're short-staffed right now, so we don't have as many people on the road as we did a couple of years ago. So the average over the course of the 2 years is about 280 different incidents where our patrol officers came to Presque Isle. That averages out to about 198 per call when you take the total budget and divide it by the number of calls we answer in the course of a year. Multiply that by the number of calls on average, about $55,000. Next slide.
Fine. If you go back though,
Yep.
we pay 10.1% though of that 270 or that 2,722,000, right?
You pay 10% in total of the total county budget.
Okay.
Yeah. If you take the total county budget, Presque Isle share is about 10% and change.
So our share would be 10% of that cost impact then, right? So like $272,000 if we were paying the same rate that other communities are.
Right, you're paying 10% of the 2.7. That is correct.
Okay.
Yep, I think I might come up to that here in another. Yeah, pretty close to that.
Okay, so we're paying more than we're getting value for though, right?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah. No, for that you are. No doubt. No doubt. Yeah. Next slide. And here's where we make up the difference. So, the jail population, 117 inmates. In 2024, Presque inmates totaled 102 individuals who spent some amount of time in the jail. Total bed days at the facility of Presque inmates was 5,003 bed days. So if you take the total budget divided by the number of inmates that we have, it's about $63,000 per year to house an inmate for 1 year, which honestly, across the nation, that's, and in Maine, that's actually less than most places. Downstate, they're ranging anywhere between $70,000 and $80,000. So it's still a less costly jail to operate from that perspective. But you take the 5,003 days and divide by 365, 13.7 individuals were in our facility for a full year. Multiply that by your 63, $866,000 roughly to house those 13.7 full-time equivalent individuals, which is about 13.7% of the total cost of the Aroostook County Jail. Okay. Next slide. So here's where I try to break it down for you by each service and all of that. Total tax you paid was $1.5 million, which is 10.41% of the total county tax budget. Presque's portion for rural patrol was around $228,672. Aroostook's cost for calls to Presque was about $55,440. And then the Spillman contract, back in 2018, Presque and Holton had a records management system. The sheriff's office and the other 8 at the time, local police departments, had their own, which didn't talk to each other at all. Ours didn't talk to each other, neither did Presque or Holton. And then the state police had Spillman. So our sheriff at the time approached us about getting a new records management system. It was going to cost about $500,000 to do that. And in that conversation mentioned, you know, what would be really nice is if we get all local police departments on the same system. Almost more than doubled the cost. I think it ended up being like $1.2 million to do that. And so I said to Sheriff Gillen at the time, I said, if you can convince the city managers and the police chiefs to support that, we'll go to the commissioners and make the pitch. And that's exactly what happened. And so now we all have the same system. So if a police officer here in Presque pulls over somebody who got stopped 2 days ago by a sheriff's deputy in Mars Hill, or another police officer in Fort Fairfield, there's an automatic notice, if you will, that someone's they have a probation violation, they have a warrant out for their arrest. It's all one system here. So it really is the smart thing to do as far as I'm concerned. So that averages out to about $22,250 per year to manage that Spillman. That's a hard cost that we pay Spillman for that system. That will be going away here in a couple of years when the note is, not the note, but the lease payment is due. And we'll see. We'll have to renegotiate with them at that time, but that's the current cost. And then the other thing that we pay for is the 911 landline calls. So I had Penobscot County run the numbers for me. Presque had, I think, a little over 5,000 landline 911 calls. But anyway, it worked out to 16.35% of the total calls that went into Penobscot from this city. That dollar amount equals $34,688.98. And then I added in the fact that we do provide a direct subsidy to Presque Airport from the county. You're the only municipality that receives a direct costs subsidy for anything. And for us, I believe we feel that, you know, the airport is a regional entity, and the county should be contributing to it. We're contributing right now $17,700 for that. So your net cost after you deduct out those things that you're getting some value back works out to about $98,593.77, and you tack on the cost for the Presque inmates of $866. It's about minus 767, 958.22. If you go to the next slide, I then just basically take your total tax, deduct that 767 for the net cost, and then you're left with about 756. And then this breaks out what percentage of each department you're paying for. So EMA, for example, about $15,000 of your county tax is going to support that. 45,391 for DA and admin, facilities 75, so on and so forth. And just, obviously these are numbers that are based on percentages, so you can't drill right down and say you're getting exactly that dollar value back. There's no way for me to know, deeds, for example, how many lawyers benefit from having the deeds service, and that's just stuff that there's no way you can get right down to the nitty gritty on. But it gives you an idea of where your county taxes are going. Next slide. I'm going to quickly go through this. Unorganized territory, just wanted to highlight it. This is a required thing that we have to do. It does not impact the county taxes. The services that we provide in the unorganized territory are municipal services, so things like fire protection, ambulance protection, recreation services, everything basically except land use and education are funded through the unorganized territory budget. They get their tax bill from the state of Maine. We basically give them a bill, and then they reimburse the county on a quarterly basis to cover the costs that we provide. Next slide. This is the UT budget. It's about $3 million total, and then it breaks down here by personnel services. We are charging the UT for one full-time equivalent deputy and the cost of a vehicle and the expenses of that deputy, so they are paying that back to the county. We're allowed to charge 5% for administering the UT, so that comes back in as a revenue. The North Lakes Fire Department costs about $115, and then capital reserves, $734, outside agencies, property insurance, and audit and legal round out that budget. Again, that's all paid 100% by the taxpayers of the UT, not the municipalities of the county. Next slide. Just a breakdown of each township that we actually have people living in and how much we spend. It ranges from $4,900 in Square Lake all the way up to, I think it's Connor. Connor costs $214,517. And then all other townships, that's basically everything northwest of Aroostook and Scopan, all the way down to southern Aroostook, $213,000. That includes the ambulance contract we have with the town of Ashland to cover the ambulance service out to the North Main Woods, as well as snow removal for Aroostook Road. And then roads and bridges, maintenance of roads and bridges is about $210,000. Next. North Lakes Fire Department operates like a small volunteer on-call fire department. We have about 45 members. As I mentioned, the townships that covers. We also have a contract with the town of Westmoreland, and we provide fire protection for the town of Westmoreland, and they respond to about 45 to 50 calls a year. What's in the works? Next slide, please. I guess one of the things I was supposed to talk about tonight. So this spring, Sonia asked me to start having conversations with her, and then Kim and then Craig got involved as well. We're talking about a summit here in September, inviting the municipalities, town managers, selectmen, town councilors, city councilors, county commissioners, and all department heads to a summit to talk about, are there better ways to collaborate between the communities and county? And talk about these services. We have some guest speakers lined up. My counterpart from Cumberland County is going to come up and talk about what Cumberland has done to regionalize some of the services there. And so I think it's going to be a good day-long event that I think everybody should attend. It's going to be held right here in Presque Isle. I think we settled on Presque Isle Country Club on September 12th, right? Yeah, and it'll be a day-long event, so I encourage all of you to attend that. Other things that are happening, you probably heard in the paper, Aroostook County is going to get its first drug court. We are the last county in Maine to do that, so we're hoping that that will add to the toolbox for the opioid epidemic that we're facing. The other item is the ARPA project is coming to a close, so we're in the last year of that. Jail commission and the new jail is well underway. I hope to have a approval at the next commissioners meeting for a RFP for design and architectural work for the new jail. So we can actually start seeing some real hard numbers, what that's going to look like for cost. Opioid Task Force is coming along. We've given out one round of funding to different agencies here in the county on that. And then our Finance Committee asked this spring to set up a subcommittee to review our outside agency requests. So just like many towns and cities do, we get requests from outside agencies to fund part of their operations. And the question always comes up, well, if they're asking from the towns and they're asking from the county, are they getting twice the money, and so on and so forth? This has been looked at, I will say, a few times in the past by previous boards and previous commissions and previous administrators. So this is the Finance Committee wanting to have a more in-depth dive on that. We're inviting the agencies to meet with them. They're going to look at some historical data and ultimately come back with a recommendation to the rest of the Finance Committee and the budget and the commissioners on what to do with outside agency requests. And lastly in the works is the Aroostook County Charter Commission. It has been a long time since the charter was adopted, and we just want to dive in and take a look at that. It's quite a lengthy process, as you probably know, to amend or adopt a new charter. So the commissioners have given a green light on a timeline that basically would start next winter when we'd have them adopt an order establishing the Charter Commission. Charter Commission members have to be either, some have to be elected and some have to be appointed. So if they adopt that order, we notify the Secretary of State's office. The Secretary of State's office will issue nomination papers for those people that want to run for the commission. And then after the commission members that are elected, then you have to appoint 3 members. One has to be a commissioner, one has to be a state senator or a state representative, and one has to be a local municipal official. So, and here's the catch, whatever community the elected members are from, an appointed member can't be from the same community. So if somebody from Presque runs for this commission and gets elected, that means Paul, who's a resident of Presque, can't be the county commissioner on the commission. It has to be another commissioner. So it's going to take some time before we know who will be on the commission, but spread the word. It should be open for those that want to run for this sometime next year. Next slide. And that's my contact info. That is not an AI-generated photo of me. That was me 10 years ago when I still had dark hair, not so much gray hair. The other thing that did they get a copy of this one by any chance? No? Okay, so I'm going to pass this one out because I wanted you to have a copy of this, because I know we always ask what drives you can take my picture off the screen if you don't. So this is for you to take a look at. I don't want to go into great detail here, but I wanted to just give you something that would say county tax is one thing, county budget is something totally different. And so when people say what drives the county tax, the budget is, think of it as a 3-legged stool, if you will. The county budget is one leg of that one leg of the tax. And there's a little explanation here what the county budget is, or what the process is. And then the second leg is your own state valuation compared to the state valuation of all the other municipalities in Aroostook County. The process, your local tax assessor does their work, but ultimately that's all being looked at by the state. They come in, they compare sales data to what you have it assessed for. They say, Presque, you're worth this much money. And that's the state value that we have to use to assess everybody's taxes. They usually release a proposed value to the municipalities in the fall. You have until December to appeal that to the state. After that happens, then it becomes final. Then we get the number. So we don't know what anybody's value is until the state releases it. Every once in a while, I'll get a friendly town manager that'll send me what the proposed is. But for the most part, I don't have that for every community. And then the non-property tax revenues were highly dependent on state funding, obviously, for the jail. So if that goes up or down, if registry of deeds money goes up and down, that impacts what the county tax ultimately is. Just to give you a comparison, the county budget, that leg one, so I looked at our budgets from last year. County budget increased by 6.65%. So you're probably saying, well, why did my county tax go up, whatever it went up? Well, it's because of leg 2, where your value as a city increased by 13%, where the rest of the Aroostook County towns only went up on average by 9%. And so, we celebrate progress and we celebrate growth and we celebrate business. that's all good, right? But at some point, it impacts your state valuation, and so, that's why that happens. And then the third leg for us was, especially this year, and what you saw probably the biggest reason for our increase is the decrease of 33% in our non-property tax revenue for the jail. That was a total of $541,000 in state funding from the jail. I will tell you that the Municipal Association, which we're not a member of, but Presque certainly is, had a bill in this legislative session to try to significantly increase that. The amount they wanted did not go through. Talking to somebody yesterday, it's the bill is one of the bills that's on the governor's desk that's being held to the next session for the first 3 days. So we might get a little more money than what we budgeted. If we do, and that does come through, it won't be a significant amount, but what we'll propose to the commissioners is that we take that money in a reserve to help offset future tax increases due to decrease in state revenue. And I just gave you a comparison of what your budget looks like compared to mine, what your increases were versus mine, and what your decreases were, if you had any versus mine. So I'll answer any questions.
Yeah, Ryan, thank you very much for that. That's a lot of information. Kind of wish we had some of this stuff beforehand, so we could have prepared a few questions for you.
It is a lot of information.
Well, the good news is we get to all visit together in just about a month, so we got some time to talk. And the one thing I will say, and Ryan, I want to personally thank you for all your candidness and help. As we worked on the summit with our committee, your willingness to come to some understandings about how things work and to teach us about that, as well as hear our thoughts on things and how to maybe move forward in the future. That's very valuable, and thank you for your time and your willingness to do that. I think it's going to set us up for some good partnership items as we move forward, because I don't see this as a one and done. We're
Right.
going to keep talking.
And, I want to stress too that from the summit, I'm hoping that, sometimes a service might not be best taken on by the county for every municipality, but I'm hoping that summit will lead to conversations amongst the towns too. Maybe you find 3 or 4 town partners to do something together, and the county's completely out of it, but it helps reduce the cost for everybody, right? So, I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's a great opportunity for people to have some conversations, and I will be on stage there presenting too, so you can ask me any questions you want there, and I'm sure you'll have a bunch of your counterparts from other communities that have the same other questions. So,
Ryan, was this presentation that you gave us this evening, is this something that might be available on a website or something so residents, if they get interested and take some time to watch this?
You can
and
do.
review this
I sent it
themselves?
to Sonia, so she can do whatever you guys decide to do. If you want to put it on your website, your Facebook page, whatever, it's all public information, and
Super.
it is tailored to the city. So I think it belongs on your website as opposed to mine. But yeah, for sure.
Very well. Yeah, great. Fantastic. Anybody else?
Nothing else for now.
You're getting out of here easy.
I brought my bodyguard here, Mr. Underwood.
And Paul, thanks for your service. I mean, seven times signing up for that duty and doing it again and being elected. That's impressive. And thanks for your hard work.
Absolutely. Well, all right, I guess, moving on to our public hearing portion of tonight's council meeting. Sonia, do you have anything to add to that? Or head right into citizen comments?
Right into citizen comments.
All right, time for citizen comments, folks. This is where you have the opportunity to come to the podium and address the council with any concerns or anything at all that you may have that you want to talk about or discuss or share. Now's your time. Everybody all at once? Okay. we did have we did have one letter submitted, to our citizen comments, which has been entered into the record, and with that, would you like me to read it, or?
If you would like to.
All right, okay. So this letter is addressed to Sonia Eiler, City Manager, Jeffrey Willett, Council Chair, and City Councilors. This is from Stephen Freeman and Jane Farron. And it reads, these are our citizen comments for the August 6, 2025 City Council meeting. Please acknowledge their submission in the meeting minutes. The City Council's amendment to Chapter 3 and the Council Procedure Ordinance at the July meeting was a disappointment. Your amendment does not define what a 2/3 vote of all councilors means. Your amendment does not conform with the city charter, and it does not conform with the legal opinion that was provided by the city attorney in February. By approving an amendment that does not conform to the city charter, you have created public distrust by not following the rules. On a positive note, the city manager's memorandum is a new addition to the council packet, and it includes recommendations from her and the department heads on some of the agenda items. Moreover, this council packet for the August 6 council meeting includes information on how the property tax rates are determined. Last year, this information was not available to the public before or after the city council set the 2024 mill rate. Unfortunately, the council packet for the August 6 meeting is missing current 2025 budget information, which is also needed to set the mill rate, the overages and shortfalls in revenues and expenditures to date. Also missing is a city manager recommendation for the 2025 mill rate. Overall, though, the city manager is moving in the direction of a more open and transparent government. Last year, the property taxes on single-family homes increased 20% after the city council approved the residential assessment ratio and the 2024 mill rate. The calculation of an assessment ratio for residential homes is a cut-and-dry procedure. By setting a new assessment ratio as well as a new mill rate is a political decision. In 2024, it was not fair for only the homeowners to bear the burden for the need to increase the city property tax revenues. This should not happen again in 2025. If more property tax revenues are needed in 2025, then all property owners should contribute. In closing, the commanding officer at my first duty assignment gave me 3 pieces of advice. Always follow the rules, always tell the truth, and always stay on top of your job. This advice is still pertinent today, and if it is followed by the employees of the city and its elected officials, then it will help achieve an open and transparent city government. Thank you, Stephen Freeman and Jane Farron. Well, thank you, Steve and Jane, for that, and it has been recorded. So, moving on to our consent agenda portion of this evening's council,
I guess I would just make a comment to that letter.
if you wish.
I mean, we didn't define what majority, 2/3 or unanimous means because those are already defined. So I don't think that there's anything done in the amendment that we made that would create public distrust. I just disagree with that.
No,
So,
as do I, but
I mean,
it was fair to
I
read the
think
letter, so.
the only way you can define 2/3 vote is if you know how many people are voting on something. So I mean, in order for us to define majority, we'd have to define it based on whether there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7 councilors here. Same thing with 2/3 and same things with unanimous. It's just excessive. It doesn't make sense.
I agree.
It is a citizen comment. It is not necessarily a fact, and we do not need to act on that, nor respond per se, but we appreciate your comments, Mike, back.
Well, I disagree, so, yeah.
It's a comment, and that's it.
Very well. So,
Healthy debate.
moving
Healthy
along.
debate. Just healthy debate.
Oh, yes, yes, absolutely. Okay, so on our consent agenda, item number 1 is to approve the minutes from July 2nd, 2025.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, yes.
unless council wants to discuss each item individually, staff recommends approving number 1 and number 2 in one motion, and numbers 3 through 7 individually.
Very well. Okay. Thank you, Sonia, for that. So, with that said.
So, Mr. Chairman, I would move we approve the minutes of July 2nd, number 1, and number 2, approve the 2025 warrants, number 23 to 25, totaling $3,537,628.09.
I'll second.
We have a motion made by Craig and seconded by Hank. All of those in favor? 6-0, unanimous, motion carries. Okay, item number 3, let me catch up here to my binder. This is to appoint Shelby Shea to the Downtown Revitalization Committee. And, Sonia, do you have anything to add to this? Or
Well,
anything to highlight or boost or promote? Or are we just shooting right through with this?
Certainly, Mr. Chair. So Shelby's resume is included in your packet,
Yes.
and Shelby has participated in at least 2 meetings that I know of and has been a great contributor to the events and to the thinking of our Downtown Revitalization Committee, and both I and the Downtown Revitalization Committee has been very pleased with her contributions.
Super. All right.
I'll move we appoint Shelby Shea to the Downtown Revitalization Committee.
The motion is made by Craig,
I'll second.
seconded by Harold. All of those in favor? 6-0, motion carries. Welcome, Shelby, to the Downtown Revitalization Committee. Moving on to item number 4 is to appoint Braxton Dowdy to the Recreation and Parks Advisory Board. Again, let's see. We have. Well, looks like this young man is interested in serving on the Recreation and Parks Advisory Board. Does anybody have any comments or questions?
Mr. Chair, this young man represents the youth portion of the Recreation Board, and it is requested that he be a full member.
Great. I will see
So
you
we
in
already
Oklahoma.
have a youth member?
We do not.
He's resigned now?
resigned, yeah.
Okay.
So this was our only one.
I know Braxton, he's a great young man. I think he'd be a good asset to the board.
Cool. All right, any discussion, anybody?
Mr. Chair, I move we appoint Braxton Dowdy to the Recreation and Parks Board.
Second?
Very well, motion made by Mike and seconded by Craig. All of those in favor? 6-0.
And
Welcome, Braxton.
he would be here right now, but he's at a baseball game.
I
so
understand. It's priorities, man. It's a good night for a ball game.
He's got to be on our recreation board. He might as well be playing.
That's right, that's right.
And Mr. Chair, if I could just add that some of these appointments, I would like to take it back to an old protocol that we had where we would have a counselor actually interview some of the candidates for these boards ahead of time and report back to the council their impressions and their recommendation.
I think that's a fantastic idea.
Okay. We'll be implementing that going forward.
Sounds good. Super. Great. Thank you, Sonia. All right, item number 5 is to appoint a city councilor to the Finance Committee to replace Councilor Hegman. So, the Finance Committee needs a sitting councilor on their committee, and which one of you guys wants to do it?
So, I'm already on it. So there's 2 of us that are appointed to it. So
Okay.
I'm
Yeah, that's right.
I'm
You're
already
on
one
it.
of the members, just
Um,
for disclosure.
So, Mr. Chair, I'm currently not on any committee, so I would like to be on at least one
Wow.
of the committees being discussed.
Fantastic, Harold. I think that would be great. So we would be looking for, huh?
Anybody else wanna?
Do you?
No.
Well, I don't see nobody's beating the
All right,
beating the table
fine.
to
Take your
step up
motion.
here. I mean, Harold was
I move to appoint
willing.
Harold to the Finance Committee.
Very well. Thank you
Second.
for that motion, Hank, and seconded by Crank. Oh my word!
I knew it was coming, that's why I did it.
Stop it.
Good job, Crank.
Okay. Motion made by Hank and seconded by Craig. All of those in favor? 6-0. Motion passes.
You got approved by Crank.
Good
Well,
job.
welcome, Harold.
Good
All
job.
right, you smarties. Okay, let's
Yeah.
move on. Yeah. My word. Okay, so next is item number 6, to appoint a city councillor to the Downtown Revitalization Committee to replace Councillor Hegman.
Mhm.
Who would like to serve on the Downtown Revitalization
Well,
Committee?
one is such a lonely number, so I would appoint Harold to that one too.
I would accept.
It's your lucky night, Harold.
That
Jeez.
sounds good.
All right. Okay. So, we have is that a motion?
Yeah?
All right, so motion made, here we go again.
Yeah.
Motion made by,
Yankee
oh
Flag.
my gosh, stop, by Hank and seconded by Crank. I'm so sorry. So anyhow, all of those in favor? 6-0.
There you go.
Oh my gosh, we're gonna have to take a break. You guys are too something else.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. Item number 7 is to appoint Gwendolyn B. DeFleece. Am I saying that correctly?
Definitely.
Wow, I can imagine. To the Assessment Review Board.
Well,
I guess there's.
I know Gwen very well, and I think she'd be wonderful at doing this, and I know she has a background in math and numbers, and so I'm very pleased that she's interested, so I'd move that we appoint her to the Assessment Review Board.
I'll second that.
So that's a motion made by Craig and seconded by Hank. All of those in favor? 6-0. Great.
Congratulations.
Welcome, Gwendolyn. Okay, moving along. Before I tongue twist anything else here. Old business.
There is none.
There is none. Well, we'll keep on moving to new business, which brings us to item number 8. The approval of a recommended name for the Aerospace Research Park at Presque International Airport.
Good evening, Council.
Thank you.
Scott Wardwell, the director of the airport, asked the Air Museum to consider possible names for the new Aerospace Research Park and the 2 roads that we will be building. This is a timely recommendation as we are having the groundbreaking for the Aerospace Research Park on Friday. The board of the Air Museum voted unanimously to make the following recommendations to council. The name of the Aerospace Park to be the John F. Kennedy Aerospace Research Park. John F. Kennedy, as you know, he was one of the I'll read this and then I won't mess it up. How's that? He campaigned here in September of 1960 during his presidential campaign. During that time, he stated that we here lived in the defense structure of the United States. And in coming here and recognizing the importance of Presque Isle in the defense of the country, he really forged a direct connection with this community. He, as president, led the nation through a critical period of defense innovation during which Presque Isle again played a very pivotal role because we were the home of the country's first intercontinental ballistic missile with a nuclear warhead, the SNARC. When this program was deactivated, He again played a role by gifting the land to the city of Presque Isle, thus paving the way for the creation of our industrial park and the creation of hundreds of jobs. More broadly, he's regarded as the father of the space race, getting us to the moon, for instance. So by naming the park after him, we honor both the local and the national contributions to the aerospace advancement, while embracing the spirit of innovation, exploration, and leadership that truly defined his presidency. Secondly, the main road to go in off of Airport Drive, we recommend the name be the James McEachern Drive. This name was chosen for the following reason. He's a local boy. He was born here in Presque Isle in 1920, and he became a pioneer in flight as a test engineer, serving for 49 years with General Dynamics. And in fact, several of the missions that he flew still hold world records for speed, duration, and altitude. Lastly, the name of the roadway to be built parallel to the east-west runway, we recommend the name of Gus Grissom. You should recognize that name. He is not a local boy, although during World War II, you may not know that he was stationed here at Presque Isle Air Base. Gus Grissom, his connection, as mentioned, dates back to World War II, and he became one of America's earliest space pioneers. He was one of the original Mercury astronauts and the commander of Apollo 1. In fact, he gave his life in pursuit of the vision set forth by President Kennedy to lead the world in space exploration. So naming this street after him not only honors his service and sacrifice, but also creates a lasting reminder of the human courage and commitment that have shaped the nation's journey into space. And his legacy aligns perfectly with the mission of the research park and the spirit of exploration it represents. You may know that in September of 2022, we received a grant from the EDA in the amount of $4.5 million to create this aerospace research park, a project that'll be about $6 million. So the Air Museum asks you respectfully to vote and consider these names tonight. Any questions?
No, that's really cool. That's some neat information here with these recommendations and the history behind them each. I think it's great. Thanks.
I guess I have a question. Like, the majority of the names of streets in town are just one word? Like Barton Street, Dudley Street. Like, do we need the first and last name? Like, I wanna honor what they want, but I don't think people are gonna say I'm going to drive down James McEachern Drive. I think they'll
And
say
I agree,
McEachern
they
Drive.
probably won't. I think they'll just use the last name in the familiar, but I think having the full name there will allow people to figure out who they are. The local names here for streets, we know that they were city pioneers. So Craig's the president, you can ask him what he thinks.
Well, so we talked about that, and we said that on the street sign itself, you know, it'll have the full name. I think people will say, you know, I'm on McEachern Drive. I don't think people will necessarily use both, but
So are you talking about putting the Keckman Drive and then like a little James on top of it? Kind of similar, like,
however it would be designed to meet DOT criteria. Yeah. But I think the thing was with this, there's some very special connotation to all of this, and we've added other names as well through the process of this, and these kind of came to the top as the first three that really had a great meaningful connection to the community. So and so that's kind of how we came up with that. So I agree with you, Mike.
Yeah, we also had another side discussion on where are the buildings going to be that have numbers. So when someone gives an address, what are they going to have to say, right? Are you going to say, I'm at 11 James McEachern? Or are you going to say, I'm at 11 Grissom? Right? So that was the thought process
So we
too,
use
so that
McEachern.
McEachern is in, that will have no specific addresses on it. It's the ingress into the park. Grissom will be the one that has the actual buildings on it.
And the addresses, because you can spell Grissom easily, but you probably can't spell McEachran easily, so we thought it was a better name for the drive that enters the park itself.
I just think from a usability and public safety standpoint, like the name of the sign should match like what people are gonna call it. And I mean, I guess I don't care enough, but I don't think anyone's gonna say Gus Grissom Street. I think they're gonna say Grissom Street.
I think you're right.
And I think from a public safety standpoint, the sign should match what people call it.
Yeah, well, how does it rate for 911 purposes too? I mean, that's gonna be the same idea.
Yeah, so I guess, you know, as far as, I think it'll be McEachran Drive, it'll be Grissom Street, you know, I mean, those two, but we just thought if there was a way to have the first name included with it,
Right.
so that their name was remembered in the
Right,
process. of
street
this.
name plus memorial kind of an
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, I just,
Yeah, no, it sounds good. I mean,
we
I'm
don't
not against
currently
it,
have a McEachran Street of any sort, and we currently don't have a Grissom Street.
Thank you.
That's great. Thank you, Kim.
Any discussion?
Yes, anybody have any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll entertain a motion.
So we're approving just the name of the park?
No, the park and 2 streets.
Okay, 'cause
Well-
the motion doesn't say that.
Well, the motion is to name the park, and then as part of it, the streets, and I guess that it should have further beyond just the name of the park on the motion.
Right. So if we do make a motion, do we add the name of the street and just edit it? Yeah.
Because if you look at the memo,
Yeah.
it asks you to do the names of, not the name.
Yeah.
So it's for all three.
Right.
You can also say as the names were presented. Make
Okay.
it simple if you want.
Yeah.
And council, I will make sure it's in compliance with 911. I will make sure that it isn't too long and that it doesn't confuse our EMS. I like the idea of putting the first names in a more subdued way on it, so perhaps on top. But I think Mike has a really good point about confusion. So we will work through that together and make sure that all of those viewpoints are satisfied.
Well then, Mr. Chair, I will make a motion to approve the names that have been stated for the Aerospace Research Park at the Presque International Airport.
Very well, thank you for that motion, Hank. Can we get a second?
Okay.
Seconded by Craig.
No,
Harold?
Harold.
Sorry, great. All those in favor?
I think it should just be the last name, so I'm gonna vote no.
Understood. Were you a yay or a nay?
He's a nay.
He's a nay. 5-0.
5-1.
5-1, I'm sorry. Okay.
I support it though, I just
No,
think
no,
it should just be the
I
last name.
understand. Yeah, we got you. Totally understand. All right, item number 9 is to approve Key to the City program. Sure, go right ahead. Sonia, this is something you've kind of brought to the table, I think. Is it something you would like to read through, or would you
Certainly, Mr.
rather
Chair. I'll introduce
me
the
try
subject.
to
No,
mess it up?
no, I'll summarize it for you,
Very
Mr.
well.
Chair.
Thank
So,
you.
this comes before you this evening as a way to celebrate our most dedicated citizens. It would be a rare honor and award given to a citizen, perhaps twice a year, but more likely once per year. The city council would actually accept the nominations, and then a committee of a citizen and a councilor, the city manager, and a department head on a rotating basis would serve on that committee. I've outlined some of the eligibility criteria, the nomination process, the presentation and record keeping of this. And I would propose that this is the key to the city that I would like to present to somebody at some point, perhaps September.
Oh.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a big key.
I wonder if there's a historian that would know anything about. Well, Presque used to have a key to the city program, I believe, decades ago.
A long time ago, there was
I don't even
some-
know if you or I were even born yet, decades ago, kind of thing.
Right.
It would be neat if somebody knew some of the history of it, or could, give us some of the factual data of, the dates of when this was,
Yeah.
p-
Right.
part of our city.
Yes,
And,
and
it's a neat idea, I think, and it's kind of cool, and to me, it's somewhat of a traditional kind of thing, if in fact we can, with accuracy, pinpoint some of its former use in our city. I just think it's kind of neat.
So I come before you tonight asking for permission to implement this new program and to set up the committee for perhaps our September council meeting to present a key to the city.
Great.
Anybody get any discussion on that? You guys all good?
I think it's great.
It's kind of neat. I'd really like to be
The first one?
interested. No, I just. I can't remember. I don't know if it was an old Paper Talks magazine or something I remember seeing years and years ago about this. And I'd like to think that there'd be a member of our community or somebody that's involved with the history of our city that may have some information on this. And if they're watching tonight or hear of this or whatnot, by all means, reach out to any one of us or Sonia, our city manager. Share your knowledge.
There you go.
So with that,
Mr. Chair, I move we approve the Key to the City program.
thank you, Mike, for that motion. Anybody
Mr. Chair, I'll
second it?
second it.
Seconded by Hank. All those in favor? 5-0. Doug had to step out for a minute, so.
Call that abstain?
Yeah, I would call that abstained. Sure. Motion still carries. So with that, we move on to item number 10, to approve payment arrangement policy to redeem tax acquired properties. This is. Sonia, would you like to read this, or would you like me to take it?
Certainly, I'll summarize it for you, Mr. Chair.
Great, thank you so much.
So this came about because our new tax acquired working group is quite successful in encouraging people to pay and redeem their property that has been tax acquired. And so we've had a series of people coming in to make payments. As it stands, there is no real protocol, there's no time limit, and it's the judgment of our finance director, which I don't wish to take away from her entirely, but I do want her to use her judgment when dealing with citizens, and that's an important component. But I believe that some guardrails and guidelines for how long we should accept payments for before that property or the taxes are actually paid for. It is recommended by our finance director that it is a 12-month agreement. They do have to sign a contract at the moment, but there is no time limit, and 12 months is what our finance director has recommended. But it would require council approval.
That's a great idea. Anybody, any discussion on it? Any questions, concerns?
No, I think it makes sense to have some
Two?
basic term and plan for what we're doing. And not only that, but I think we've seen with some past conversations, people are looking on our website saying, well, okay, well, what is the policy of the city? You know, what do we do? How do we do it? And this gives them something that'll be part of the record so that they'll have that. So I think that just helps to give expectations, which is fine, so.
Mr. Chair, I move we approve the payment arrangement policy to redeem tax acquired property as presented.
Second?
Motion made by Mike and seconded by Craig. All of those in favor? 5-0, one abstention. Motion carries. Okay, on to item number 11, to approve changes to the Airport Advisory Board bylaws to include a conflict of interest clause and other minor changes. So I looked through this and it's pretty minor, really. I didn't see anything that stuck right out. The main thing, I guess, was cleaning. Well,
Just changing the name and adding.
yeah, changing the name from Northern Maine Regional to Presque International Airport. And just a
Change the
few,
days that they meet on.
yeah, the days they meet on, just a few subtle changes, really nothing, reinventing the wheel here, so I'm fine with it, if, everybody else is.
Well, no, I think it's a great idea. I think the biggest part of it for me was that we've been going through all the different boards
Right.
and introducing conflict of interest language so that, you know, if someone does have something that is formally part of the board language. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Oh,
that's
really, just, yeah, a bit of housekeeping among all these boards
you know,
is all, it's just stuff.
that's
Well, it
what
just
we've done
keeps
on every other
everything
board. So.
open, honest, and
Yeah.
keeps the integrity going.
Yeah.
So,
So,
Well, if everybody's fine with that, let's, I'd entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I'd move we approve the Airport Advisory Board bylaws as presented.
Very well, motion
I'll
made
second
by Craig and seconded by Hank. All of those in favor? 5-0, one abstention. Motion carries. Moving on to approve the process for recommending Central Air Services. This is something that our airport director would like to brief us on, or I can read through. So, what we have, go ahead.
Scott's on his way up.
Oh, Scott, all right, good. You can take over.
Excuse me, Mr. Chair.
Yes,
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Counselor Sear has a family emergency, and so we are wondering if we could move the item to appoint a city councilor to replace Meg Hageman on the agenda so that he can participate in that, but that we allow him to leave.
Yes,
after
by all
that
means,
session.
by all means.
Sorry, Scott.
Is that something that, Scott, I'm sorry if we could just pause for just a quick second. On the item of appointing
Table
a,
what we were working on procedurally.
on the subject of us appointing a counselor, is that something that we felt we were going to do, or were we just going to wait until election time? And if we are going to appoint a counselor, what do we have for nominations, and how do we go about voting on it?
And Mr. Chair, if I could just interrupt you.
Please do.
If you could give us, if we could have a motion to move that item up to right now,
Okay,
so
All right.
that we can get
So
that.
I move that we move number 19, the discussion to appoint a candidate for the Presque City Council to replace Councilor Hegeman's resignation to the
Number 12.
current part of the meeting.
I'll second that.
motion made by Craig and seconded by Hank. All of those in favor? 6-0, motion carries. Okay, so we are discussing appointing a counselor to assume Meg Hageman's seat until December 31st, 2025.
Who do we have for available appointees that have expressed interest?
I don't have any, no, John Shaw is the only one with that.
John's the only one you have.
So John came to you, and then
Yeah.
you had someone come to you.
Yep.
And I have had someone come to me, so I
Right.
think that's the only one, so so Kevin Freeman expressed an interest to me.
But they have to send it to her first, don't they? They have to write it down as an interest before.
I don't
I
think so.
don't believe as long as you have some names that showed interest. Doesn't have
Very
to
good.
be to
Nope.
you.
That's good.
And Derek had expressed interest to you?
Derek withdrew.
Okay.
There was another one that expressed interest, the Michaela Henninger,
Yes.
and she expressed some interest.
Okay. So the plus and minuses are, we currently have a even number board, so if we go into the budget season, which is gonna be a challenging budget season, then we don't have a odd number, for purposes of deciding on things, so I guess that would be one thing. I guess the other point, I guess I would just make would be that, this will be a challenging budget season. You know, we know that there's gonna be lots of, discussions about, the finances of the city and how we go about appointing different things as we go into the budget, so, you know, perhaps another mind, some experience wouldn't be a bad thing to have them vet what's going on here, so. I guess that would be my 2 points, and then the other point would be we could wait and we could, have the seat not filled until election time, at which point they would run, and then they would be seated in the late fall or potentially after the budget.
Could do that. Or we're always looking to promote and to bring in new people, so we could always look at somebody that has not necessarily a jaded point of view, but somebody that's got an open mind, and give them a little bit more experience and understanding on what it is that we do as far as running the city. So that's where my
I think we should have a special meeting, invite people to come and say why they should be on council. Personally, we've just got a few names that have talked to so-and-so, let's let people formally, say they're interested.
I would agree with that, at least at a minimum formally show they're interested.
well, that goes with what I said earlier about one person just signing up with a letter of interest.
Correct.
Okay. So our drop dead date is Saturday the 23rd, correct? Or is it Friday the
Yes.
22nd?
23rd.
23rd?
Well, everybody has access to technology, right? They could always take and record a video and send it to us, either by messenger or email or
Email
something.
me a video.
Yeah. Given, you know, what they wanna do.
Sean can always help with that.
Hmm.
Sean could always help with
Yeah,
doing the
Sean.
interview.
Absolutely.
Have a
Yes.
meter at the,
They
So,
can send me a
City Hall.
thing and I can work with Sean,
okay.
set up appointment to do
Yeah,
a video.
good idea.
Well,
Harold is a good example of that, so the questions won't be as intense, but just so that people, you all can get a feeling of who they are.
I think it'd be great if we met them at a real life meeting. They're gonna have to sit next to us to go to real life meetings, so that would be
Well-
my preference.
yeah, ideally they would come. What would we do, like 2 weeks from now?
so I
You
just,
want it sooner than that, wouldn't you?
I'm completely unavailable next week myself, but the next week, the 18th to the 22nd,
Is the last,
the Wednesday, the 20th is 2 weeks from today.
Yeah.
I'm open to anything. I think Kevin's a good nomination. I mean, his knowledge and numbers crunching and his performances through previous budget cycles I learned a lot from him. So just personally,
He's been through a lot of budgets, yeah.
he's been through a lot of budgets, and I've picked up on a lot, just kind of shadowing him, if you will, and so.
Is this room occupied certain dates, like
We'll
planning board room?
prioritize that.
What's that?
We'll prioritize that,
Oh, okay,
Councilor
we'll
Chair.
kick him out. Okay.
Okay, so can we set the 20th as the day to meet and
Certainly.
have the discussion? Okay, I'm good with that.
Madam
right.
Clerk, are you okay with the 20th?
oops, nothing here.
6 o'clock, or do we want to go earlier?
I mean, that'll be the only item, unless we happen to do an executive. So 6 is fine, it's not gonna last it.
Okay.
And then, do you wanna put a date and time of when, to receive an application? Like the day before or something, or?
I can come by that Monday, that
The
way that
18th?
we can get it already on Tuesday.
Okay, so Monday at 4:30 or something?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
we're still
18th.
looking at doing the video portion of it, or?
If they wanna, or
I
it's
was
up
gonna
to
say,
you.
would you like, would council like those videos done by that time?
Or do you wanna meet them in person and just, but they can send me their resume or,
I think send the resume by the 18th and then be here on the 20th.
Yep.
And then we can see them in person. What do you think?
That works good for
I'm
me.
I'm game with whatever it is.
Okay.
Do we-
I'll save, like I say, because, yeah.
Yeah, do we need a motion for that?
Mr.
or-
Chair,
or was
I
that
move we hold a special meeting on August 20th at 6 p.m. to meet people interested in filling Meg's empty city council seat.
Very well, thank you, Mike.
I'll second
Motion made by Mike and seconded by Hank. All of those in favor? 6-0, motion carries. All right,
I'll put a thing together tomorrow and advertise it.
very well.
Thanks, Kim.
All right,
I apologize.
football's well done. Take care, buddy. Okay, moving
Back to
along,
12.
back to 12. I'm sorry, Scott, we didn't mean to interrupt you with that. We just, we're doing the best we can to keep everything rolling here. So,
So, as my memo kind of starts out and summarizes, I think we all can agree that this essential air service recommendation process needs to be streamlined and reformed a bit. And so what I did is I actually reached out to an airport very similar to ours, Plattsburgh. They're located in Plattsburgh, New York, former military base, and has done quite well as a commercial airport, but still remains in the essential air service program. The goal of the process really needs to be to provide USDOT with a recommendation that benefits the largest number of air travelers to and from Aroostook County and New Brunswick. Okay, you are not going to find a choice that is going to please everyone. That just is not going to happen with a single choice. It also has to be a process that allows the maximum amount of information to be shared with City Council. City Council is the recognized political body that USDOT looks at. They don't look at the Airport Advisory Committee. They don't look at the county of Aroostook or anybody else. It's the City Council of the city of Presque. And so that City Council has to hear as much information as possible and have it be unbiased information and information on which they can make a decision that they feel that they're maximizing the number of people to benefit. It needs to be a process that is fair and professional, that people who bid on the air service feel that win or lose, they've been fairly treated, because all of these airlines, typically that bid, both Jack, that's our air service consultant, and I have cultivated a relationship over several years. and it's not good to basically use the public forum to really criticize a bid or a bidder, because in 2 more years they may be your lifeline. They may be the only people who bid, right? So, so what I tried to do with this process is really really meet those goals, and try to communicate to USDOT this time around a clear message that a decision, a recommendation has been made, and they can move forward with their process. Also, I think the executive session for a portion of this process is very necessary. The executive session is a process that Plattsburgh uses, where city councilors, members of the Airport Advisory Board, myself, my air service development consultant, feel that we can be candid about our thoughts, and we can have discussions about the various bids without bidders necessarily being criticized in public. I think it's also important that in the executive session, when there's a consensus that's been reached, and it may not be all members, okay? It's members are a reflection of the general population. The general population isn't going to be, not everybody is going to be happy with any one airline. It doesn't necessarily work for them. But in that executive session, I think it would be appropriate for, once there's a clear majority that is forming, that everybody kind of circle around that, whatever it is. And when you come out of executive session, you have a certain unity about whatever that decision was made. It's really counterproductive to all of the money that we spend for marketing at the airport to really, whoever gets eventually chosen, to really kind of in public point out maybe the weak points in that decision. This is a little bit different than what City Council is typically asked to do. Typically, you're asked to debate the issue, and share with everybody what your feelings are and that kind of thing. But this selection and the running of the airport, it's more like a private business than it is like a fire department or a park and recs department. And usually private businesses, the board of directors, if you will, try to show a certain unity about whatever decision they make. I think it makes good business sense if you're trying to market something to the community. So these aren't, necessarily my ideas or processes. As I said, I based it on the process that's used by Plattsburgh, and Plattsburgh is a very well-run airport, and we could use them as a model in a lot of different things, especially with the number of people that they they board in on an annual basis. In fact, our overall air service development strategy of trying to attract a ultra low cost carrier like Allegiant is very much based on the success that Plattsburgh has had. So I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have about the process, and I'd also be happy to sit down.
Thank you, Scott.
You're welcome.
Does anybody here have any questions for Scott, or
I'll do it later on.
sorry?
Yeah, later.
Okay. All right, so looking for a motion to authorize the city manager and the airport director to follow the procedure outlined in this memo for the 2026 EAS recommendation process.
Mr. Chair, I move to authorize the city manager and the airport director to follow the procedure outlined in this memo.
Very well, thank you, Harold. Anybody second?
Second?
Craig?
Yep.
Motion made by Harold, seconded by Craig. All of those in favor? 4-1, or 5?
No, I mean,
Yeah, okay, yes, 5-0.
I'm a no.
You're a no.
Yep.
4-1. 4 yes, 1 no. All right. Okay, so moving on to item number 13.
And I guess
I'm
I'll just explain my no. I think we as adults and representatives of the city and community should be able to choose an airline and disagree without speaking negatively about the other ones. So I mean I'm not always going to agree with what airline to choose, and I think that to discuss it in a way that's not damaging to the people bidding should be okay. So that's why I'm voting no on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd like to change mine to no for the same reasons.
Okay.
3 to 2.
So we can do that 3-2. 3 yes, 2 no. Motion still carries. Is that it? Okay. Moving on, item number 13 is to accept and adopt the order authorizing up to $12 million in tax-exempt financing for the airport construction project.
Mr. Chair, there is
Yes,
a
thank
memo.
you, Sonia.
You're welcome. There is a memo from our finance director explaining this in greater detail. The cliff notes to this is that owing to the great work of our finance director, she was successful in securing general obligation bond financing, which designates the interim financing that you've already approved, the 12 million as tax exempt. This saves 1.3% of the interest, amounting to approximately $260,000 in savings, but you as council would have to approve that.
Mr. Chair, I move we accept and adopt Order 1, 2025 is presented to authorize the city to issue tax-exempt general obligation bond financing to be utilized by Catan Trust Company for the airport terminal project.
I'll second that.
Thank you,
we,
Mike.
we need
And-
to read, it says,
Yeah.
No?
we need to read the text out
We
loud.
have to read the whole order.
No. I didn't sign up for that.
Well, let me take a shot at it.
All right, you like to talk, so go for it.
Well, I'm hungry. An order providing for a general obligation bond for construction of a new terminal at Presque International Airport be ordered that under the pursuant and the provisions of Title 30-A, Section 5772 of the Maine Revised Statutes as amended by and the Charter of the City of Presque, Maine, a capital improvement project consisting of construction of a new efficient and modern terminal building at the Presque International Airport, and including transaction costs and other expenditures reasonably related to the project are hereby approved, and be it further ordered that a sum not to exceed 12 million is hereby appropriated to provide for the costs of the said project, and be it further ordered that to fund said appropriation, the treasurer and the chair of the city council are hereby authorized to issue at one time or from time to time general obligation securities of the city, including callable securities with or without premium and temporary notes in anticipation of the sale thereof, in an aggregate principal amount of 12 million, and be it further ordered that the discretion to fix the date or dates, maturity or maturities, denomination or denominations, interest rate or rates, place or places of payment, form or forms, and other details of said securities, including execution and delivery of said securities against payment, therefore, and to provide for the sale thereof, is hereby delegated to the treasurer and the chair, and be it further ordered that a tax levy is hereby imposed upon all taxable property within the city of Presque, an amount necessary to meet the payment of the annual serial installments of principal and interest of said obligation, general obligation securities, as such necessary amount shall be included in the tax levy for each year until the debt created by the issuance of said sale of said general obligation securities is extinguished in the city council, read and adopted.
Thank you, Craig.
I second.
Motion made by Craig and seconded by Mike. All of those in favor? 5-0. Motion carries. Very well. Moving on to item number 14 for our annual tax commitment. And it was brought to my attention earlier from our city manager that we are not quite ready with all of the numbers and figures that we need right now to present, so it
Staff
has
requests that we table this.
been recommended that we table this item.
Mr. Chair, I move we table the annual tax commitment.
I'll second it.
Motion made by Mike, seconded by Hank. All of those in favor? 5-0. Motion carries. We'll be back with that one soon. Thank you.
Second.
Item number 15, to schedule a public hearing for Chapter 16, the Land Use and Development Code. The Presque Planning Board, you want me to read this?
Thanks, Lois.
Sonia, or is
No,
this just as simple as?
just as
scheduling?
simple as scheduling
Very
it for
well.
the next hearing.
Mr. Chair, I move we schedule a public hearing for the September 3rd, 2025 City Council meeting to obtain public comments on revisions to the Land Use Development Code as presented.
Yes, thank you, Mike, for that motion.
I'll second it.
Seconded by Hank. All of those in favor? 5-0, motion carries. Thank you, guys. Okay, item number 16 is an update from Sean Cunningham on the Downtown Revitalization Committee. Sean, your turn.
Okay. Hi, good evening, City Council, City Manager Eiler, and to all here and watching online. My name is Sean Cunningham, and I am the Communications Media Officer for the City of Presque Isle and the ex officio liaison for the Presque Isle Downtown Revitalization Committee. And it's the latter role that has me presenting to you all this evening. I'm tasked with giving an update on what the PIDRC has been up to over the past 8 months, and the answer has been a lot. Here's a list of everything that we've done. Probably the biggest change is actual member growth. We've added on a few new members and officers to the committee, but also city staffers that serve in an advisory capacity. The PIDRC has successfully kicked off the new year with a star lighting celebration. We brought that back after about 13 years on Main Street with headliners Elevate and Star City Syndicate. They had an outstanding concert that night, with huge thanks to them and the businesses that we continue to partner with, businesses like Ignite PI and the Northeastland Hotel, for example, Dead River Company, our local media outlets, and the list goes on and on. We partnered with local veterans to put on the Memorial Day celebration that included a 7-plane flyover by the Northern Maine Flying Club and presenting of colors by the Civil Air Patrol. We launched a new Facebook page, which now has significant content and followers. And we're in the process right now of launching an actual web page for the committee itself. Both of those socials will increase our presence. This past spring, we did a walk and meet and greet with local businesses, inviting them to come to a meeting and join our effort. That was very well received and appreciated. We've gone back to having our subcommittees meet regularly, including a promotions committee, and of course the Rocking on Riverside Summer Concert Series. And that's a great segue into that event, which for the most part has been a successful series of events. We've had a number of food trucks, vendors, and several successful bands, including Wally and the Virginian, Shamrock, and of course Busted, which headlined our big 4th of July weekend celebration. That in itself was by far the most successful for the season, with huge crowds, sold out food trucks and vendors and merchants, and an exciting half-hour fireworks show to cap it all off. Those concerts are extremely important as they increase economic growth for our local businesses, our vendors, and our music artists, and showcase what Presque Isle Downtown has to offer. The series will have a huge finale next month as we partner with the Northern Maine Fair Association to put on the finale concert at the fairgrounds, featuring not only one, but two exciting acts of Deadly Desire and French Toast. And as part of our commitment to beautification, we've put out several petunia flower baskets courtesy of MSAD One School Farm, partnering with them as well. Thank you to them. We spearheaded a new Veterans Banner Corridor project that'll be located throughout North Street, along the Veterans Memorial Park, and near the local VA clinic. Putting up those banners will hopefully be completed by this November, just in time for Veterans Day, and showing our continued commitment to our veterans community. It's kind of like a 365 thank you to them. And as far as actual revitalization, economic development, and growth, we are in talks about once again having Presque Isle and the downtown rejoining the Maine Development Foundation's Maine Downtown Center program, which is part of the Main Street America National Initiative. And that program works with and provides funding opportunities to scores of other communities on revitalization and improvement efforts. Years ago, Presque Isle and Caribou were two county communities that participated. As of right now, they have Holton and Van Buren, and like I said, we're in the beginning talks to readmit Presque Isle as part of that collaboration. And there are plans to purchase new holiday lighting for downtown Main Street just in time for the holidays. And we're just starting the discussion about plans for this year's New Year's Eve star lighting celebration and what that all might entail. In closing, we have had a great time, and we're looking for new blood, which we have my girl Shay right there. New members, new ideas, and Harold, of course. New members, new ideas, new partnerships, corporate sponsorships, collaboration. We're excited about everything that we've done, are in the process of doing, and what's to come. So I want to thank you all for the opportunity for allowing me to present to you all this evening.
Thanks, Sean.
Fantastic. Thank you, Sean. Much appreciated. Okay, moving along to item number 17, is to an award an engineering services contract. This is for a bridge design over the Williams Brook on the Henderson Road. This is something
Mr. Fowler should.
Dana
we need
is,
Dana to address
Yeah,
us on.
sure, if he doesn't mind.
So Dana, is it troubled water?
No.
No.
Calm waters.
Calm water, okay. So it's not a bridge over troubled water. That's good. Good.
No, it's culvert.
No song
It's a
after this
culvert.
one.
Culvert.
Good evening, council. The city received a grant in January of this year from the Maine Emergency Management Agency. It's called a BRIC grant, Building Resilient Infrastructure in Communities. This was for a design of a bridge over Williams Brook on Henderson Road. This is defined as a bridge because the span is going to be more than 20 feet. There's some technicalities there with definitions, but the grant was 75% federal funds, 25% city funds. The maximum allowed was $115,750. Federal grants require a competitive process to hire consultants. And so we advertised a request for qualifications in a state publication and a local newspaper. And we formed a selection committee to score applicants. We received one application from Calderwood Engineering out of Brunswick, Maine. The selection committee went through the process, scored the application, interviewed Calderwood, and recommended that they be awarded the contract. We opened their statement of fees, which was sealed at that point. We opened them, and their price is $89,490. And so 75% of that is going to be MEMA funded, federal dollars, and the city share is 25%. City share is $22,372.50. The city share will come from the Public Works Capital Improvements Plan, and there's a specific line item for large culvert replacement. The design process will start next month, and it will be done a year from now, in September of 2026. The end result is we're going to have a set of plans that are ready to go to bid, but at this time, there's no money to build the bridge. So the committee recommends to you that you approve the award to Calderwood Engineering. Any questions?
So would this help us get grants to do the project by having it designed?
It will, because some grants require to be eligible to apply, they have to be shovel-ready. So this would be shovel-ready.
Do you think the scope of this is similar to Egypt Road or bigger?
It could be bigger because it may require a realignment of the road, is what what Calderwood has told us thus far.
Okay.
But Egypt Road is almost $500,000, including engineering. So construction and engineering inspection on Egypt Road, which is under contract right now,
Yeah.
is almost $500,000.
Is this road as busy as Egypt Road?
The traffic count is, they're almost exact. I think Henderson is 80 some vehicles per day, DOT traffic count. And I think Egypt Road is 72, something like that. So they're somewhat close.
Do they consider that a lot of traffic on that road? And if so, are they gonna make detours around while they're reconstructing the bridge?
They'll probably allow a certain period of time for a detour, because that's what's going to happen on Egypt Road.
Right.
There's a window of time that there can be a detour. Yeah.
So is this kind of the brook out there at the bottom of the hill?
So Henderson Road is Fair Junction.
Yeah.
It's the
Yeah.
brook through there.
Is that? Yeah.
Yeah, Williams Brook.
I figured. Okay. All right. Well, I would move that we award the contract for engineering services to Calderwood Engineering LLC of Brunswick, Maine, in the amount of $89,490 for the design of a bridge over Williams Brook on the Henderson Road using a MEMA brick grant and Public Works CIP funds.
Thank you for the motion, Craig. Anybody second?
Second.
Seconded by Harold. All of those in favor? 5-0, motion carries. Very well. Thank you very much. All right, up next is item number 18, and this is to introduce our new community outreach coordinator, Lori Ann Chandler. Lori, would you please come up and introduce yourself? And tell us a little bit about what you got going on, what you're doing, what you're open, and what you're thinking.
Actually, there's a lot going on. The community has been really great. Employees at City Hall has been amazing in helping me and guiding me in a lot of directions. Learning a lot of new resources in the community, meeting a lot of people, not mistaking some people for being homeless. I've learned that lesson. But which would be his wife coming up out of the woods. So I was like, okay, so that's a true story. But yeah, so it's just trying to collaborate, I think, is a big word that was used tonight. And I agree with that. A lot of collaboration with a lot of different agencies and working together. My goal and my role here is that I want to be part of the solution, not part of the problem. And I'm hoping that other agencies, other people can jump on board with that. I know it's not always going to be easy. as we see tonight, not everybody agrees with everything. I think that can be healthy, and that's fine. But our goal is to help the population that we're serving, which is people that are experiencing homelessness, people that are struggling with mental illness, people that are struggling with substance use. Today was a really good example of that, an ongoing thing with mental health issues, and how do we address that, and who do we go to for that. So yeah, it's just fine tuning those things, and it's always going to be there. It's never going to go away, but just learning how to handle it better and with dignity and compassion, and hopefully being all on the same team. So yeah.
Lori, thank you for working with us.
Yes,
Number one,
thank you
we
for
welcome
having
you,
me.
and I know we can't talk very specifically, but you've had some real good wins in the last couple of
Really?
weeks, getting people
Yes,
to services,
yes.
and we're very, very proud of you and proud of that work.
And 2 more today. So yeah. So one was just as Councillor Chassie was going by. That was another win today that you saw when I was coming over here. Got him housed, and that's what we were talking about. And that was at what, 5:30, 5:45 tonight. So that was good end of my day. But I, like Craig, am hungry as well. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, so please feel free, if anybody knows of anybody that is homeless, or you see a tent or anything that I have not seen, or other people in the community, PD has not seen, please feel free to reach out and let me know. There's more out there, trust me, and I'm just starting to get a grip, or trying to find. There's a lot of people out there that I have not seen yet, so can work together on this as a team for sure.
Great,
Yeah.
fantastic.
So thank you.
Well, welcome, Lori, and we wish you all the luck and support that we can provide for you, and looking forward to great success with us. Thank you very much. So, moving on, it looks like it is now time for our manager's report.
Yes, so
Sonia?
Thank you.
what would-
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have a manager's report in the form of a packet that you already have. One of the things that Kim Smith and I are working on is a protocol for outside requests to streamline that, to make it a little more sensible, and to make sure that you have the information you need prior to people coming to you for outside requests, and we're treating it like a grant process. So for my manager's report, I would just encourage you to take that home. Make sure that it aligns with your values and what you want to see, and that it is helpful to you. Kim and I can make whatever changes that are needed, and we hope to begin this process in the budget season, so that you will have an easier time with outside requests. And citizens will know exactly what you need to see and when. So Kim is working individually with these outside requests, and doing a terrific job doing
That's
that.
great,
So,
thank you.
You're welcome.
It's been a while coming.
yes.
Thank you, much appreciated. Is that all?
That's it.
All right. Okay, now we've got some announcements for Wednesday, August 6th, 2025. The 2025 Crown and Main Balloon Festival kicks off August 22nd and runs through August 24th. Keep your eyes and ears tuned to the radio, Facebook, the fairgrounds, the sky. It's going to be hard to miss. It's going to be a lot going on. The Human Foosball Tournament for Special Olympics Aroostook County fundraiser, Saturday, August 23rd at 10 a.m. at the Northern Maine Fairgrounds. Register by August 15th by contacting Carl Michaud. That kind of sounds like an interesting, kind of a fun event. Also, the Presque Farmers Market is Saturdays, 8:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. At the Riverside Pavilion. Same deal, Saturday mornings. If you're downtown, you can't miss it. Saturday, August 23rd, guided tour of Presque Air Museum and the former Presque Army Base aboard Molly the Trolley at 9 a.m. to 10:15 a.m. $10 per person. Registration required. Contact the Presque Historical Society. Nomination papers are available at the City Clerk's office for the MSAD number 1 School Board Sections 6, 11, 12, 16, and 17, as well as for 2 council seats, 1 3-year term and 1 4-year term.
I have a little change to that. I found out today that it's Brandy Cronin stepped down, and I think it's section 8, if I'm remembering right.
Okay, on the nomination
On the
papers for the school
nominations, so
board.
we have one more for the school
Okay,
board.
so it would be 6, 8, 11, 12.
I believe it's 8, but it was
Okay.
Brandy Cronin's spot,
All right.
so.
Super. So all kinds of opportunities right there, folks, to get out and get involved and get engaged and help do what it takes to make things work here. The city has the following employment vacancies: a police officer and a firefighter paramedic. We also have the following vacancies for boards and committees: Rec and Parks, 3 one-year alternates. The Assessment Review Committee, 1 3-year member, 1 and 5 months remaining. And the Assessment Review Committee, 1 1-year alternate. The Audit Committee, looking for 1 4-year member. The Downtown Revitalization is looking for 1 4-year member and 2 years and 5 months remaining. The Downtown TIF is looking for 1 1-year community member. And the Library Board is looking for 1 1-year alternate. Again, folks, these are super easy opportunities to become involved in things in our community, and it's great to see everybody's involvement. Please see the city clerk for an application or apply online.
Before you close. Oh, go ahead, do that.
No, you interrupted me. You do it. I'm just kidding.
I got another thing too.
The City of Presque presents Food Truck Mondays at Riverside Park Pavilion from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Have a great lunch on the go or eat on site. Several food trucks will be there set up to serve lunch on Monday, August 18th and Monday, August the 25th. This is to also help fight food hunger at Food Truck Mondays. Bring an unexpected non-perishable food item to the food truck on Monday the 18th and be entered into a drawing for a free lunch on the 25th. All donations will support ACAP's Community Food Cupboard, helping local families in need. Let's come together and make a difference in our community. Now with that said.
Awesome.
Thank you, Hank. On Friday at the Sergeant Center, Carol Iob and myself are holding an open mic from 6 to 9. So if you play an instrument, if you sing, or if you just want to come listen to everybody, you are more than welcome.
Those are fun.
Yeah, it is
Those are
actually.
lot
It's a
of
good
fun.
time.
And then we're getting geared up for next week. So AACA, the Antique Automobile Club of America, is holding their U.S. Eastern Regional Tour here in Aroostook County starting next week. So that is going to be a big event, actually. So you're going to see cars all over town. They're touring all of Aroostook County, but when you can see them and participate, Thursday, this coming Thursday, on the 14th, so next week, not tomorrow, but the week from tomorrow, Main Street, closed between Academy and State Street. Star City Syndicate is going to be playing. The art group here, Aroostook County Arts, Partner in the Arts, are having artists on Main Street, and they will be there. Food trucks will be there, and all of the tour cars will be there in front of the Northeastern Hotel as well. So we look forward to you coming down and participating in that.
What day is that again?
So that is
14th.
Thursday, August 14th. And yeah, 6. Band starts at 6, goes till 8:30, and the food trucks will be set up by supper time. So hope you can come down.
Fantastic. Lots going on, lots to do, all kinds of cool things going on. With that said, the next scheduled meeting of the Presque Isle City Council will be on Wednesday, September 3rd.
August 20th.
I'm sorry.
August 20th, we just set a new one.
Oh, yes, we did. Yes, we did. Thank you. Our next scheduled meeting of the Presque Isle City Council will be on August 20th in council chambers at 6 p.m. And with that, I would entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I will make a motion to move into executive session.
Gotta say what it is.
Pursuant to state statute MRSA number 4056E, attorney-client consultations, pursuant to state statute MRSA 4056C, real estate matters, three of those.
Yeah.
Oh. Pursuant to state issue MRSA 14056C real estate matters, and 23 pursuant to state statute MRSA 4056C real estate matters, and pursuant to state statute MRSA 4056E attorney-client consultation.
Just the first one.
Motion made by Hank,
I'd amend the motion. It just needs to be the first one. Pursuant to 1 MRSA 4056E to discuss attorney-client consultation.
okay,
Second?
Yeah, go.
motion made by Mike, seconded by, Craig, all those in favor?
Yep.
No, motion carries, thank you all very much. Our apologies, my apologies for the stumbles and the tongue twisters and any other minor inconveniences that
Right.
we may have experienced.
Right.
Fun time though.
Fun time.